1940, and within the past few months, mainland Europe has fallen to the Blitzkrieg, an extremely effective tactic, utilizing mechanized infantry, armor, and close air support. France, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, and countless other countries fall to Germany. The fall of France is especially shocking to the Allies.
After World War I and prior to World War II, the French had further fortified the Maginot Line. Armed with bomb-proof bunkers, machine guns, barbed wire, rotating turrets, mortar and artillery, it was deemed impenetrable. The German solution was to simply go around. This posed a problem for the Allies. They weren't expecting the Germans to invade through the rough, forested terrain of the Ardennes. As a result, they had little to no defenses there and were caught completely off guard. Losing battle after battle, the Allies began the run north to the Channel. Here, they were cornered at Dunkirk and annihilation seemed inevitable. Any available boat, fishing boat, ferry, cruise liner, battleship, they were all seized and called into the service of His Majesty. Miraculously, nearly 340,000 soldiers were evacuated. It was celebrated as a victory. However, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill was quick to remind people that
wars are not won by evacuation.
leaving behind tons of equipment and the British Army being virtually destroyed, Hitler knew all he had to do was get across the Channel, and Great Britain was his. He named this operation Sea Lion. However, there was a problem. The British Royal Navy and Air Force were still very much intact, not to mention the British had the support of the Commonwealth. As a result, Hitler knew that he had to destroy the British Navy and the Royal Air Force, or RAF, or else he would be overwhelmed by the support that the British would receive. The British were in the fight of their lives, and yet, the situation grew grimmer by the day. The Luftwaffe outnumbered and outgunned the RAF in the skies. They also had much more experience in flying than the British. Hitler, knowing the advantage was his, ordered the commencement of Operation Eagle Attack, the planned destruction of the RAF. The Battle of Britain opened up with Eagle Day, the first of many German bombing runs on Britain. At its peak, in September of 1940, in what was called the Blitz, bombs would drop day and night. And day and night, the RAF, as well as other air forces, were there to harass German bombers and fighter planes. They were successful enough that the Germans abandoned their daylight bombing runs and only bombed Britain at night. However, the Allied airmen would never have a minute to rest, because when they weren't shooting at bombers during the night, they were dogfighting with experienced German pilots during the day. The fighting was fierce. In August alone, 426 Allied aircrafts were shot down. They say that the average life expectancy of a pilot during the Battle of Britain was 20 minutes.
Despite having little more than 8 hours of flight time and lectures from aces, the Allied pilots stood their ground against the Luftwaffe. They should have been shot out of the skies, but they had a trick up their sleeves. Radar stations had been set up along the coast, to which the Luftwaffe failed to see the significance of. These radar stations were vital to the Allied effort during the Battle of Britain, as it gave at least 20 minutes of warning before the enemy aircraft showed up. This gave time for civilians to take refuge in the subway and in underground shelter. By the end of the Battle of Britain, some 481 pilots were killed, captured or missing, and 1,087 planes were destroyed. 41,000 civilians lost their lives, and another 130,000 were injured. RAF hung on the brink of destruction. Something had happened to the British that Hitler had never accounted for. By bombing the British people, he had reminded them that it wasn't only a soldier's war. In total war, it's everyone's war. Hitler could destroy their houses, factories, and streets, but he could never destroy the British spirit. As a result, the British stepped up their war effort. There was nationwide rationing, and even the royal family wasn't exempt. Any available green space became a garden. Children were sent into the countryside, while day and night factories churned out ammunitions, tanks, planes, shells, and bombs. However, it wasn't only Britain's fight. All countries of the Commonwealth took part. Canada, for example, fielded 401 Squadron, which fought with distinction against the German Air Force. In addition, many air training schools were located in Canada, safe from German bombs. Nearly 60% of its graduates were Canadians. It wasn't only the Commonwealth that fought. Polish, Czech, Finnish, Dutch, and countless other men from other countries fought in their air force in exile. Although they would be continued to be bombed until mid-1941, the threat of invasion was over, and thus the Battle of Britain became a rallying point for all. Hitler had intended to destroy the RAF and destroy British morale, and yet he did the exact opposite. The RAF now had experienced pilots and was now beginning to churn out more planes faster than before. British morale was set at an all-time high, and it seems that Hitler had failed on every account. Had the Luftwaffe continued attacks for, some say, an additional week, the RAF would have been destroyed. However, Hitler had given up the invasion of Britain to instead turn to the east and prepare for the invasion of Russia.